おはようございます。今日は4月4日の土曜日です。Looks like back to school is going to be April 13th. We're going to be doing some kind of online learning. So look for an email from me this weekend. I'll talk a little bit about Zoom sessions. I'll talk a little bit about Google Classroom. I'll have some links and also a video project hopefully that we're going to try to put together. I think we're going to need to be pretty flexible about meeting times and how people use internet. Bandwidth will probably be an issue in some households. So we're going to be flexible, but I think the plan is to start with some kind of online learning in about a week. So look for that email from me. If you don't need to be out, please stay at home, shelter in place. I think something like over 1,300 people in the United States passed away yesterday. So please take those recommendations to stay at home seriously. Drive safely. I mentioned this, I've been mentioning this. People are driving crazy out there. I think they see empty streets and they think, hey, I can drive fast, or maybe they're not even aware of it. But be careful if you're out and about, and if you're driving, please drive defensively. All right, today I'm going to read a little bit to you from Ackoff's Best. Russell Ackoff was a system management professor, researcher, writer. He wrote a lot of books and papers on systems management, which, what kind of systems? Well, employment systems, economic systems, educational systems, all kinds of cool things. So I actually was introduced to him through some professional development we did at the high school, and I thought it was really interesting, so I did a little bit of more reading from Russell Ackoff. A word about this particular book, and I wouldn't normally complain about books, but I don't know if you've ever had a book like this. This is probably the first book I've ever had where there are pages where it looks like they just did a terrible job with printing and copying of the text. So there's blank spots within the book. That's pretty irritating, especially when you're reading a paragraph or a passage that you're thinking is pretty interesting, and then you get to a blank spot and you have to try to fill in the content. That's on quite a few pages. So Wiley Publications, not highly recommended, although this book is good. Those passages are pretty irritating. Alright, I'm going to read to you a selection from Ackoff's Best. Chapter 11, Mission Statements. Most corporate mission statements are worthless. They consist largely of pious platitudes such as, "We will hold ourselves to the highest standards of professionalism and ethical behavior." They often formulate necessities as objectives. For example, to achieve sufficient profit. This is like a person saying his mission is to breathe sufficiently. A mission statement should not commit a firm to what it must do in order to survive, but to what it chooses to do in order to thrive. Nor should it be filled with operationally meaningless superlatives such as biggest, best, optimum, and maximum. For example, one company says it wants to, quote, maximize its growth potential. Another, quote, to provide products of the highest quality. How in the world can a company determine whether it has attained its maximum growth potential or highest quality? To test for the appropriateness of an assertion in a mission statement, determine whether it can be disagreed with reasonably. If not, it should be excluded. Can you imagine any company disagreeing with the objective, quote, to provide the best value for the money? If you can't, it's not worth saying. What characteristics should a mission statement have? First, it should contain a formulation of the firm's objectives that enables progress toward them to be measured. To state objectives that cannot be used to evaluate performance is to evaluate performance by hypocrisy. Unless the adoption of a mission statement changes the behavior of the firm that makes it, it has no value. The behavior of a Mexican firm was profoundly affected by the following passage from its mission statement. To create a wholesome, varied, pluralistic, multi-class recreational area incorporating tourist facilities and permanent residents, and to produce locally as much of the goods and services required by the area as possible, so as to improve the standard of living and quality of life of its inhabitants. Second, A company's mission statement should differentiate it from other companies. It should establish the individuality, if not the uniqueness of the firm. A company that wants only what most other companies want, for example, quote, to manufacture products in an efficient manner at costs that help yield adequate profits, wastes its time in formulating a mission statement. Individuality can be attained in many ways, including that in which a company's business is identified. Third, a mission statement should define the business that the company wants to be in, not necessarily is in. However diverse its current business is, it should try to find a unifying concept that enlarges its view of itself and brings it into focus. For example, a company that produces beverages, snacks, and baked goods and operates a variety of dining, recreational, and entertainment facilities identified its business as, quote, increasing the satisfaction people derive from use of their discretionary time. This suggested completely new directions for its diversification and growth. The same was true of a company that said it was in the, quote, sticking business, enabling objects and materials to stick together. Fourth, a mission statement should be relevant to all the firm's stakeholders. These include its customers, suppliers, the public, shareholders, and employees. The mission should state how the company intends to serve each of them. For example, one company committed itself to, quote, providing all its employees with adequate and fair compensation, safe working conditions, stable employment, challenging work, opportunities for personal development, and a satisfying quality of working life. It also wanted, quote, to provide those who supply the material used in the business with continuing, if not expanding, sources of business and with incentives to improve their products and services and their use through research and development. Most mission statements address only shareholders and managers. Their most serious deficiency is their failure to motivate non-managerial employees. Without their commitment, a company's mission has little chance of being fulfilled, whatever its managers and shareholders do. Finally, and of greatest importance, a mission statement should be exciting and inspiring. It should motivate all those whose participation in its pursuit is sought. For example, one Latin American company committed itself to, quote, an active force for economic and social development, fostering economic integration of Latin America and within each country, collaboration between government, industry, labor, and the public. A mission should play the same role in a company that the Holy Grail did in the Crusades. It does not have to appear to be feasible, it only has to be desirable. Man has been able to grow enthusiastic over his vision of unconvincing enterprises. He has put himself to work for the sake of an idea, seeking by magnificent exertions to arrive at the incredible. And in the end, he has arrived there. Beyond all doubt, it is one of the vital sources of man's power to be thus able to kindle enthusiasm from the mere glimmer of something improbable, difficult, remote. That's from Jose Ortega y Gasset. If your firm has a mission statement, test it against these 5 criteria. If it fails to meet any of them, it should be redone. If your firm has no mission statement, one should be prepared and as participatively as possible. An organization without a shared vision of what it wants to be is like a traveler without a destination. It has no way of determining whether it is making progress. And that's from Ackoff's Best. Have a great Saturday.